Well, good morning and welcome back. This is day 4 of the 75th Gilley Shield, playing for the Australian National Softball Championships. Coming to you live from Garnerland, Adelaide Plains, from West Beach in South Australia, and it's the home team. SA facing up against ACT. SA 6-2, ACT 0-7. And you could fairly say that every game being played today is going to help shape the Final Four, which will be decided. There's two games at 8 p.m. tonight for the first and second semi-finals for gameplay at 9 a.m. tomorrow. But before we get there, we've got to get through the last day of the minor rounds, kicking it off with the SA Stars and the ACT Diamonds. James Harris here, and alongside me will be Anthony Weatherstone. He'll be joining us shortly. Over on Diamond 2 is also a big game between New South Wales and Victoria. We'll bring you updates as we go along. Jamie Radcliffe pitching for the ACT. She deals to Sarah Tonkin in the leadoff spot today. A couple of players being rested. We'll go through the lineups when we get a chance. Pippa Atkins in the on-deck circle. Both these players have been very impressive the last few days. Backhand side to the third base player, Savannah Ritter, for the first out. So positive start for the ACT Diamonds, who have been a little unlucky, you'd say, over the course of the week so far. 0-7 doesn't reflect the way that they've been performing. Here's Pippa Adkins. You saw her yesterday. Hit a triple in the top of the 6th inning that really set the tone for the rest of that inning. South Australia piled on 3 runs to beat New South Wales 7-2. Pippa Atkins on the move, shows bunt, and on a change-up that's high and out of the zone, she pulls back for a ball. Still a little bit of breeze around, probably a little lighter than yesterday. Sun is shining. Atkins fouls this one off. These two teams faced off on day 1. SA were winners 9-2 in 5 innings of work from Jade Peterson. And we're going to have a special guest joining us here, so come on in. Our viewers around Australia will know the name. Just get you to point that straight into your mouth. There you go. It doesn't have to touch your mouth, but just there you go. Good to go, producer Brandon. Thank you very much. Well, I'm a little bit nervous, if I'm honest. Sally McCready's joining us. Welcome, Sally, to the broadcast.
Thanks so much. Nice to be here.
You've just been dobbed in by Joyce Lester, so...
Yeah, that's a pretty normal thing to happen to me.
What Joycey says goes, as Pippa Atkins pops up into foul territory, taken by Ritter at third base. She's been in both the plays so far. And, I mean, if you don't know Sally McCready, and these notes were passed to me by Joyce as well. Yeah. 18 years Aussie rep, 5 world champions, 2 Olympics. Is that 2 bronze?
2 bronze.
2 bronze medals. Not a bad... I haven't gone through the entire resume, by the way, but this is Johanna Grau up to bat. And you've been here all week?
Have been here all week.
And you were here in December as well for the 23s?
In December for the 23s, so yeah, enjoy it here in Adelaide. It's always good.
Yeah, we haven't put on the best weather. No. It's been a bit low to our standards here. We pride ourselves on the weather here in South Australia, but great to have you along. What do you think of the standard so far of the Gilley Shield this year?
Oh, I've been really impressed with the hitting. It's been a pretty strong hitting tournament. pitching is not as strong as probably it could have been, but I think, there's a couple of standout teams in New South Wales, South Australia. But overall, good standard. Our ACT girls have struggled a little bit, but I think they've had a lot of really good games that have just been out hit, and that's softball for sure.
Well, I just mentioned that a little earlier in that the results haven't reflected the way that they've played, I don't think. They've been unlucky losers a couple of times. 0-7's not a flattering record, but it does show in the runs against that they're competitive against WA, Victoria, and even the games, the tight games that they lost against Queensland.
Yeah.
They really put on a show. So
yeah, I think so. I've been actually pretty proud of their efforts. There's been a lot of games with a low error count, which is important, and then it's just a matter of stringing hits together. So hopefully they can do a bit more of that today. We've got 3 important games today.
Yeah, we also said that every game today is going to help shape the finals. That includes ACT. Now they play 3 games today. I think they've got South Australia.
They've got WA and Victoria as well. So, mathematically, I think we can make it if we have 3 wins. So that's obviously what we're shooting for. 3 wins.
You've got to rely on WA and Victoria both losing all their games as well.
That's right, yeah.
Base on balls for Yo Grauer. It's been relatively or sparely used so far. Just the 17 plate appearances. Still hitting 476, if you don't mind, and pitched just a shade under 6 innings. So
it's a luxury to have a person like that not on the diamond as much.
Yeah. Sorry, she's pitched 9 innings. It's Georgia Hood who's up to bat, who's only pitched just under 6 innings. So between the two of them, only 15 innings, and you would have thought maybe they'd carry the load. But Steph Trzynski and Jade Peterson have done the majority of the work to this point. There's still 2 games to be played today.
Very impressed with Georgia at under 23. She's a very strong player all around, just a really good softball brain. And
she's a talent that we've seen come up through the ranks, and she just puts this way over the head of the right fielder, Laura Pardo, who's probably playing a little shallow for Hood. Grauer's got to turn 3 and score all the way from first, an RBI double for Georgia Hood. Got the outside pitch and drove it opposite field. Very strong upper body, Georgia Hood, and if it's in her wheelhouse, she'll drive it up the middle, but if you hang it over that outside edge, she's got that power to reach out and push it to the right side. Hayley Benithan, who's doing the catching today, so just had to unkit, and now she'll take the signal from Coach Benedictson. First run of the game to South Australia in the first. Hayley's had a brilliant tournament, hitting 467. She's got 7 hits, but 4 walks as well. She can bunt as well as hit the ball with power, and who will ever forget that game against Queensland when she had the first 5 RBIs of the game. Called strike on the outside edge, and Jamie Radcliffe's one of the contingent from Queensland. I think there's 6 in total, including Lockie Thorburn, the assistant coach.
Yeah, that's right. It's certainly a few of those girls have strengthened our team. So it's good to have that input from there.
Hayley Benithan fouls this one off, and I don't want to embarrass the man, but he nearly fell over when he just saw you with the headset on. Sal, this is Anthony Weatherstone, who's one of our co-commentators, and
no, Anthony. I played against his wife quite a few years. So.
who's been joining us on commentary as well, Kylie, during the week, so helping us out with a big program as Spacequake Sports are bringing you every game of the 75th Gilley Shield. Hayley Bonython goes down looking, leaving the runner in scoring position for the third out. Not a bad pitch on the outside edge.
Yeah.
Again for Radcliffe.
Jamie's been doing a really good job for us actually on the mound, and as well as with the bat. So, yeah, great job there with that pitch.
Handy to have a two-way player.
Yeah, for sure.
Join the team. Lauren Parker's done a little bit of both as well.
Yeah.
Morning, Sally.
Good morning. How you going?
We got a photo of Sally on our wall at home. So
Don't embarrass her. It's okay.
No. So it's when they were doing the fast pitch series of Kylie pitching to her, and then of course I think Sally launching her somewhere over left field. So it's one of the reasons why I keep that photo on the wall, just to keep her humble. Shout out to Kylie. Good morning.
She said thanks for that.
Yeah. Don't forget to hang that washing out if you'd be so kind. No, I'm only kidding.
Radcliffe, 10 innings of work so far with an ERA of 1.4. That's pretty handy return.
No, she's done a good job.
She's super impressive too with the bat. Have you seen some of the shots that she hit a double yesterday?
She hit the fence on the full. Yeah, it was a beautiful piece. Yeah,
absolute tracer bullet. So
we'll see her in the lineup hitting 4. But we'll go around the diamond for the Stars. Jade Peterson pitching to Hayley Bonython, Georgia Hood at first, Jordan Harris at second, Lana Kayser back in the lineup at third, Chelsea Robinson at shortstop, and the outfield left to right, Sarah Tonkin, Pippa Atkins and Taylor Chillingworth. Couple of big names on the bench there. Amber Hood's had a week, Steph Drzezinski and Belle White, so they're getting their rest this morning. Big game against Queensland. I think if South Australia win this game, they'll secure second, unless Queensland can win all 3 games and keep opposition relatively scoreless, because runs against will come into play.
Yeah. Queensland have got a big game tonight at 8 o'clock against New South Wales here on Diamond 1, so that'll be an interesting way to finish the tournament. But I'll tell you what,
they've got to play South Australia, New South Wales, so that'll be a big finish for them.
Yeah, wow, that's a big afternoon. Tell you what though, the Diamonds, they haven't been far away. They've been knocking on the door.
All 3 of us have said that now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, that's
repeat of earlier message, as that man would say, Lee.
Shout out to Lee.
Yeah, and for those who are watching and enjoy Lee's commentary, he's put in his apologies for the rest of the week. He's looking after some health, but he's told me he's going to be watching from home. So
I have to try and get a live cross to him at home. So.
Lexi Cooper, who's also been impressive, a 300 average and batting leadoff. I spoke to Sean Carroll prior to the tournament. He said that Lexi will be their leadoff and they'll look to her for some inspiration at the top of the order.
Yeah, she's been, she was a bit of a firecracker for them last year. She did a lot of the catching for them, and she just provided a great energy to what was a very young infield at the time. So showed great leadership, and seems like she's a real character, plays super positively, and yeah, great competitor.
Well, Peterson threw against ACT earlier in the week in the 9-2 result that took 5 innings, and interesting to see that if they win this one, doesn't matter what the result is against Queensland, well, relatively doesn't matter, because it'll come down to runs against, that they're going with Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooper gets a good piece of this ball. Pippa Atkins tracks back to take a catch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the final day before finals is always funny, because you're going to get the management of the lineup becomes super important, especially the pitching staff. But I mean, Coach Benedictson's, Grau has been on a very, very tight leash. Trzynski's probably done a bit more work than she thought. Hood's done a bit of work. So, yeah, I would have expected Grau to sort of get some time out in the middle today.
Laura Pardo is the batter in the left-handed box. What about your thoughts? Sally McCready, who's a WBSC Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think with as you say, that today's a day to manage your roster, and South Australia's got 2 more games today, so
just the one. They played 2 today.
They got 2 today.
Yeah.
Okay, so
New South Wales, South Australia and Victoria have got the 2 today. Everyone else with the 3.
I would expect Yo to definitely need to throw some pitching today, probably against Queensland.
Well,
So
she's DP
even
in
if
this game.
she's DP, so
So she could come
at
in
least she
for
can get it, keep her
Jacob.
back going. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, she's an important bat, so
Definitely, yeah.
Pop up to test Lana Kayser with her first time on the diamond since she'd come off since that tag play at third
well, I mean,
a couple of days ago now.
I've been watching highlight packages and just getting feedback in the debriefs late at night because it's taken day 4, morning 1 for me to grace a South Australian game. I don't know.
right?
Yeah, I don't know why you've kept me on the back lot. I appreciate that. That's the only team I know a lot about is the one you don't let me talk about. So that's fair enough.
Here's Claire Warwick.
Talk less seems to be the.
Aggressively goes after a change of pace. First pitch, she is just a weapon, isn't she? She's batting 500 for the tournament. She was the MVP and best batter last year as well with a plus 500 average. Just talking pitches, Kendra Lamb's pitching for New South Wales with Parnaby, Rickson and Plain all on the bench resting.
Yeah, that 8 o'clock game tonight for New South Wales, I would suggest that Plain and Parnaby will not get out of their tracksuits.
Someone said to me yesterday that they probably won't even leave the hotel.
Yeah.
No, they really don't need to, do they?
No,
And,
especially
you know,
with that first game tomorrow morning because you know that you've got the
they've
first
got to
final.
go at that one.
Yep.
And the roster they've got, they can have that luxury. So Kendra is a very strong pitcher. She's throwing right now. She'll probably go that whole game. Well, they've still got Chantel and Gracie
Grace
Rickson as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice luxury they've got there.
Ground ball to shortstop. Robinson almost waits for the second bounce and fires it across to Georgia Hood for the third out of 1, 2, 3 inning for the Stars. That's strong defense considering the likes of Cooper and Warwick between them are really leading the ACT offense.
Sam Robin behind the plate, she's been great to watch. So yesterday she was Coach Carroll was kind enough to give her 12 innings back-to-back behind the plate. So
Yeah, she did a lot of work yesterday.
I'm not entirely sure if she parked in his spot or something or what the go there was, but she was just a ball of energy. So many times with the base run, especially in the Queensland game, she would be taking the pitch and she'd be straight up out the front, making sure that they stayed nice and close. And she had this perfect throw to Clara Warwick on that tag play.
Managed to throw Whitefield out, which is no mean feat. So
no,
pretty
absolutely.
impressive there.
And you know, there was a bit of controversy around the call whether or not she was safe. But I think we said it in the call that the throw was that good that if Warwick's glove wasn't there, it would have hit Whitefield, and it just basically pushed her glove onto the body and made the out. So
Well, this is Lana Kayser, who's got a grumpy knee. Is that how Mel McGee explained it yesterday?
I've got a knee brace. I've got 3 sleeves. I've got a couple of TENS machines at home. I can help with the knee. She's just grounded out over to third base. Blue calls it in, and it's a 5-3 for the South Australian leadoff. So she can wear this if it's going to help her. I'm not entirely sure they'll let her, but
Look, they might need to put it in the dryer to shrink it a little bit.
oh, that's very kind.
Here's Taylor Chillingworth. I'm just saying, it's a big brace.
Yeah, no, exactly, because of the muscle, I assume.
That one's in there. I was waiting. Might have been an audible from the umpire, but that hand signal came up a couple of seconds delayed, and
Yeah, they often do that, and sometimes they sound like they're saying ball, but then put their arm up, so you've got to wait.
another strike on the outside edge. So Chillingworth behind the count.
So Redcliffe didn't make Queensland's first 16.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising seeing the way she plays here. She's very impressive, so
Talk about
we'd be happy to have her.
get a visa down to the ACT.
Change up again, just off the glove of Ritter at third, and on the error, Chillingworth will reach.
She had another one of those yesterday, Savannah Ritter. Just came off, and Warwick sort of had fallen in behind her to back it up, but then of course knocked it into the vacant hole where shortstop would have been.
It's her fourth play of the game, and it's probably the easiest one, really. A one bounce to her relatively softly. Chillingworth takes off on the pitch and arrives safely. Airborne Warwick saves it from going in the outfield.
You know you're going to get a contest from Claire Warwick over at second base.
Let's have a look at the Eastern replay.
Don't see anyone more athletic than Claire Warwick on the diamond.
No, absolutely.
A left-handed Robin, not a bad throw over. And I think for style points, she jumps.
Yeah, but
came through head high.
No, there's a little bit of technical stuff to that too. Like, she's done that. She's cleared her feet at the back, so she knows that Chillingworth's going to slide in, and so she's made sure that her feet are well out of the way. And as she's taking the ball, the glove's going to be the first thing that goes down and tries to make the tag. So always thinking of the out, Claire Warwick.
Robinson in the box, scramble. Here she is again.
Oh, wow.
Reads that second bounce brilliantly and throws out Chelsea Robinson by a couple of steps.
I think that's the thing with Claire. She's just extremely body aware and done so much work that she just knows exactly where she's at and what she's got to do to.
She plays the diamond like a local, and she did play here once, didn't she?
Last year, she was here for the Denso series. And
didn't she play for SA once?
No. Nearly. But
nearly.
Didn't pan out in the end. But here's Jordan Harris to the plate. She's the 9-hitter for the Stars.
It's a handy 9-hitter.
Shows bunt.
That being said, you go through the tournament, all the 9-hitters have been, you know, because obviously with the top of the order imminent, they've all had roles to play. They've all done some pretty impressive things. So
often your 9-hitter's a bit stronger than your 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
For that reason.
Tacks a low pitch. Are you aware of Claire Warwick's nickname that she has in South Australia? Affectionately known by the Stars as the gun, because she is a weapon.
That's pretty suitable.
Mel McGee gave her that, you know.
Oh, right. Well, then, if Mel McGee's giving out nicknames like that, then they stick, because
both went to Hawaii. I don't think they're the same cohort, though. Just one of many of the Australians to go to Hawaii. Lack, Porter, now Millie Fidge, Kaya Parnaby.
Brooke Wilkins.
Kelly
Gentle.
Yeah, Kelly Gentle.
That's a fair Illuminite game that would come up if you sent the SA team, like the Australian reps that have been over there. It'd be
could think of worse places to go for
I think so.
to go to college than Hawaii. Strike called on Harris. She got into a good hitters count 3-1, but perhaps didn't want the one on the outside edge.
Yeah, she's a dominant force here in the CMAX Premier League, and come back after having beautiful Maeve.
She was out yesterday supporting mum. Goes right side, and
McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald's good. She's been a good player in defence for the Diamonds in this tournament. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Yeah, Harris just tried to put the ball behind the runner and just didn't get all of it this time round for the third out. Now, Sally, you're going to either break my heart or make my day with the response to this question.
Okay.
Do you get to see much of the CMAX Premier League? Is it something that is watched over in the East?
I certainly did when I was on NOTV. I saw a fair bit of it, and occasionally I do check in and watch it. I certainly wasn't the CMAX, but I saw the Stars versus the Stars and Stripes the other night, which was good to watch. And so, yeah, now and again I do catch up with it.
Yeah, hot dog night, American beers.
That'll do. I'm a happy man now. Thanks,
well, there you go. Yeah. Well, you've got the Queensland. What's the young Queensland under 23 that?
Yeah, Harari Kurihara gave me some feedback during the tournament. She was getting a rub down from the physio, and she said, "I know your voice. I watch it every game." She became instantly my favourite player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, turn the page over and we've got the 4-hitter Rebecca McDonald, who just made the last out against her opposite second base number.
One thing that's been super impressive about ACT this time round, like seeing them in this format, is that even though they've had McDonald just fouls that one off. Even though a couple of things haven't gone their way and a couple of the results haven't gone their way, and they are where they are, they've rolled up today on Thursday, and you can hear the energy from the coaches. You can see just the faces in the team. They're here for the contest, and, you know, the chances of them making the floor obviously aren't high, unfortunately. But they're still competing at a really positive level. It'd be super easy just to come in here and just go, you know what, we gave it our best shot, we didn't get it done, and so we're just going to, you know, relax and just enjoy some softball. But they're still competing here at a massively high level, and you've got to tip your hat to that. Stars, you know, they've got bigger plans for tomorrow, and they're still getting a workout.
Pop up into foul territory for Benathan, who takes a good catch for the first out of the inning. Yeah, Sully and I were just mentioning, mathematically possible. They must win all 3 games today. They play 3 winnable games, really, SA, WA and Victoria. And I say winnable because of what you just said about South Australia's plans for tomorrow. So maybe they're not going all out. Maybe they're, you know, giving an opportunity. They're opening the door like they did against WA yesterday.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just checking to see if I've parked my car somewhere behind the left or centre field fence. No, I haven't. Good, just with this batter at the plate.
Jamie Redcliffe.
She is awesome to watch.
Bit of a spinner there from Jade Peterson. And interesting, if they are at the end of the day tied on runs against, ACT 48 runs against, Victoria 47 runs against, and WA 46 runs against. So it
much closer.
I was about to say, yeah.
Could very much well come down to runs against if the points are tied.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing too, remember at WA, they've got a triple header today, so that's, and they were absolutely throwing everything at it last night. They did, didn't they? And
they got back to level 4-all in the 5th.
Yep, Dow only had 8 plays out of 10 at shortstop in a row.
Another pop-up, Lana Kaiser early call.
So Redcliffe did the same thing yesterday, but it was a high outside pitch. And she just did exactly the same type of swing, just checked it at the plate, and that went 200 feet to right field. So she's got just massive power.
Sully, 4 pop-ups from the 5 out so far. What's the message going to be from Coach Carroll?
Yeah, I think timing's an issue here too. They tend to struggle when Peterson does a really good job of changing her pace, I think. And just they need to lay off that high pitch. It's not something they actually need to swing at. So just a bit more discipline and a bit, you know, patience to wait for that pitch to come across.
Great
just
shot.
Like that.
Just
and
like
on
that.
cue, Tess Henman, who is an excitement machine, turns 2 for 3. She's getting waved around for an in the park at Chelsea Robinson with a magnificent relay throw. It was Sarah Tonkin who chased it down in foul territory. A beautiful shot. Henman gets a triple. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay.
Throw had to be perfect, didn't it? And it was.
Oh, she kicked it as well, so to give an extra chance. Maybe that's why Carroll was giving the wave around. Here's Henman on her bike. If we could see in the top of the screen, no, we can't. The relay from Robinson and Hayley Benathan perfectly placed. It will be a triple to Henman. It was a magnificent shot, and it was great around the bases.
If you need to sum up the ACT's week so far, in that one play, that sums it up. Great execution of some skill, some great base running, aggressive play, and then you've forced SA to come up with a perfect relay, and that's what just seems to have happened against them.
Yeah.
People have just come up with the big plays against them, and she's out by a couple of feet. That pretty much sums up just the rub of the green that they've got so far. Wow.
Well, after 2 complete innings, the Stars have had 9 batters. ACT have had 6, but it's 1 hit apiece, and the Stars lead 1-0. Back to the top for Sarah Tonkin. She's made up some ground over the last couple of minutes. She's chased down a ball into foul territory. She's had to come back into the dugout and straight into the batter's box.
Yeah, just unlike Justice Perry last night in the late game, who got the hurry up by blue umpire coming off the innings and got rung up for a strike for taking too long to get to the plate. I thought that was a bit rough.
Well, the difference from the two is that
One's at left field.
Justice Perry was playing first, going to the first base dugout,
Yeah, fair enough. All right, fair enough.
and she just took her time to get there. And she had a 2-pitch strikeout, and unfortunately, you know, the rules of the game are there to be followed. Now, do you give a little bit of leeway to an American import who doesn't play those rules? Because at college, they're allowed to step out of the batter's box, walk halfway up to the coach at third base, have 19 practice swings before they come back to the box.
I think the theatre that I was referencing was the fact that it was 4-all, and when you're the lead-off in a 4-all game in your national tournament, you know, is hanging by a thread, you know, maybe Coach Winburn wants to have a word, and, you know, maybe we could just have a little bit of recognition that game 3 for the team in the day, just give her a chance. But it is what it is, and James, you're absolutely right. Being a stickler to the rules as you are, can't believe you just said that.
Base on balls for Sarah Tonkin in a patient at bat.
Didn't miss by much. Look at these little bat girls, the Marriage girls. Shout out to Stacey and daughter Zoe. Zoe's in there cutting up today's theme, and today's theme is fresh cut rolls. We've got pepperoni, we've got roast beef, we've got chicken, we've got ham, we've got the whole lot, and they're in there making the rolls as we speak.
So when you come down to watch the live softball action here at West Beach, the throw goes over to 2, the runner doesn't go.
So
But nothing happening, right?
Big variety of stuff in there.
So don't pack your lunch is the message I was going to say,
Absolutely
but
not.
especially not tomorrow. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Go.
Sally McCready, barbecue day tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Breakfast and lunch.
That's the plan.
Sorted.
Pippa Atkins shows bunt again. Sarah Tonkin getting an extended lead. She's got a bit of protection from the left-handed batter. But if Pippa gets a strike, you'd expect it to go down. So far, 2 balls is the count.
Yeah, Coach Benedictson having to look at small ball here. He's chasing one. Needs to put ACT in a place where they have to chase.
Takes off this time. And unopposed, the runner steals. So the Stars have been getting on their bike this week. Just looking at some of the stats. These aren't official stats, but thank you so much to Peter Williams, who's put this together himself just from the play-by-play that Softball Australia have on their website. 15 stolen bases make it 16 for the Stars this week.
Well, ironically, the funny thing there is that, and I mean, she would have advanced the runner, so the sacrifice there, but good pitch to get her struck out. But you've got a left-handed batter in the box versus a left-handed catcher, and Tonkin jumps. So for Robin, she might have just been a little bit in the blind spot and not just got that first couple of feet, which was all the difference that she needed.
Here's your Grauer, base on balls, her first plate appearance. Goes after the first pitch. It's high and in foul territory. The left fielder is Katie McCready, and she leaves it go foul in the warning track.
If they ever invent a 2020 version of softball, Yo Grauer's going to be on the poster because she is forever in a rush. First pitch, first at bat of the day, let's go. Let's get after it. I haven't got time. I've got somewhere to be. She's always...
Did you say if?
Yeah.
Have you not heard of the fully loaded softball competition?
Far out.
The MC Thunder, the CPC Angels,
Premiers.
and the Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers play off every year for the short format of the game.
Well, surely for the big fan base that the CPC Angels have got, you've got some breaking news that you're holding that back for tonight. Do you want to let
Mark is commentating the late game tonight.
I was about to say, you want to let the country know that the franchise owner's in the house?
Well, we should, shouldn't we? Build up the hype a little bit. CPC owner.
What time does that game start?
Owner-operator Mark Cram. It's 8 p.m.
Yeah, so what time's Mark going to be here?
He'll be here at 7:58. Yeah. Sure he'll be watching. Ground ball. Ritter's in the play again, and
good hold.
She held onto it for a while. I was
Yeah.
wondering what was going on. There didn't seem to be much urgency. Let's watch the Eastern replay. Chopped down into the ground. She had to wait for it. Yo Grauer maybe thought it might have been going foul, so she hesitated before she took off. Let's have a look at this angle.
Yeah, that first step that she took, you get the feeling that she did think it was going to go foul, but the power hitters keep coming. It's Georgia Hood back from Pensacola State.
Hit an RBI double her first time up, scoring Yo Grauer from first. It was Pardo out at right field that was just in too close as the powerhouse just drilled it to the fence. Everyone's back now.
That's a good pitch. Kept it low and looked like it was going to be fast, but just took enough off of it just to unsettle the timing of the back-to-back power hitters for the Stars here. So that's good work by Robin behind the plate. Good thinking.
Sully, you're still involved in softball. You're assistant coach of the under-23s, and your husband was the head coach.
That's right, yeah.
What about locally? As Hood grounds this to Claire Warwick, who on the run throws it over to Cooper at first for a good pickup in the third out.
Great play, Claire Rod.
Yeah, well, Richard does coach club locally. My mum is getting a bit advanced in years now, and she loves to come down to softball, so I sort of have to sit with her and give her a play-by-play and look after her. But we're both very keenly, there all the time and watching, and Richard's coaching, so yeah, still very involved.
We were talking legacies just a couple of nights ago because of Amber and Georgia Hood playing. Her mother, Tanya, formerly Tanya Creek, Tanya Hood, represented the Stars after giving birth to both her kids, and you yourself was an ACT Diamonds player for a better part of 2 decades.
Yeah, that's right. And
now your 2 girls are playing.
That's right.
Must be proud mother.
Yeah, I know, it's fantastic. I mean, I just love to see them out there having a good time and doing what they love to do, and I couldn't be prouder of them. It's a really nice thing to be able to go away and watch your kids do that.
We made the point last night, Victoria Titans, Brodie Hendy, second generation Titan behind mum, Ross Coonan. So there are plenty of those legacies all around the sport.
Savannah Ritter is one of the Queensland draft players. As we're getting some running repairs here for Sally. She pops it up first pitch to Pippa Adkins, who tracks it well. She comes in comfortably to make the out. There's been a bit of a revolving door at centre field for the Stars this year as they, well, not look to replace Maddie Cameron, but, they need to find a regular starter there, don't they, as finals are looming.
Yeah, you're not going to replace Maddie Cameron, so you've got to find somebody that's going to get you as close to that as you can.
Change up from Peterson, as Sally mentioned before. She's pretty well versed at varying her pace.
Yeah, I mean, the scout report on Peterson in the local league always is that Jade is somebody that gets early ahead in the count, and once she's ahead in the count, she becomes a super handful because she then uses that great variance of pace, because it all looks very similar coming out of the hand, but the reality is at the plate, and we had her on the gun at the Nationals last year, and the mixture of pace is, in the 10 to 15k mark constantly from pitch to pitch, and if you're a power hitter, that just makes it a nightmare to settle in. You've really just got to back your hands, keep them set back, and find your pitch. And when she's ahead in the count, she's not going to give you a great deal to work with, so that's why she can be a real handful.
15 innings of work prior to today, Jade Peterson. 17 innings for Steph Trzynski, so only second to Steph with an ERA of 3.34.
So, and what about Yo? How much has Yo thrown?
Yo was on 9.3 innings at the start of the day, with Georgia Hood 5.6 innings.
Yeah, so good pitch. Yeah, the suggestion.
First strikeout of the game. That is Sam Robin bringing up Katie McCready.
Yeah, you would think that Jade would be on a reasonably short leash here as far as going through the Diamonds lineup once, and maybe then it would be a case of batter by batter when they get a second look at her, and to see whether or not the flex in Grauer comes in and probably gets a bit of work done for tomorrow.
Are you a nervous mum? Do you like watching? Or,
Look, you can't not be nervous as a parent. But
Obvious favourite between the two, or
no. Nice question. No.
so,
They're very different girls.
low for a ball, good hands, keeping them back. But had a little bend in the knee to get down to that low pitch if she was going to go for it. So it looks like she's tracking them well.
yeah, they're both tall athletes, so
It was down swinging because Jade Peterson is in the groove, as they say. A bit of a zone for her. She retires the first 9 batters. She did give up that one hit, but it was her defense that got behind her with that relay play at the plate. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. And the wily old fox, the 40-plus-year-old, just spins one out to the outside edge and away from the bat.
yeah, she's got one of those. I've always said it in when we've been commentating her, that she's just got a glide to the plate when she jumps off. A lot of pitchers, when they jump off, it's a big aggressive jump, and you're going to see them plant and land and throw hard. But Jade just seems to effortlessly glide towards you, and it just gets on you quicker than you think. And that's, yeah, as I said, that timing aspect of what she does makes it super difficult. But the super impressive Hayley Benithan.
Yep. Well, it's one time through the lineup, and we saw it this time yesterday. The Stars pulled Grauer out of the game against New South Wales, and it was Georgia Hood that did the rest of the work. You reckon that might be the plan again, or do you think she'll let Jade go as long as possible?
Day 4, I mean, I don't think I'd be settling it on batters. I mean, she'd be case by case now, literally, but the leash should be fairly tight, I would think, more for the fact that Hood and Grauer haven't done as much pitching as probably we would have thought, and you're going to need to make sure that everybody feels like they've got some work in the shoulders. None of them have been overworked, so they've been managed well in that regard, but that's a good change.
Very good change of pace. Well, it took one inning for WA to get on top of Peterson, who did go the distance, only gave up the 3 runs, but 2 of them in one inning with 2 out after she uncharacteristically threw 2 back-to-back walks.
Yeah, right.
Opposite field hitting for Benithan. Foul ball called.
Well, so the ACT haven't had a huge amount of opportunities through the tournament where they've led. So if you do come back through the top of the lineup the second time and they do start to get a hold of her and you do leave her in, you do open up the risk that ACT can play with a little bit of freedom and play like, hey, listen, we've got nothing to lose in that sense, and we're just going to go for it. And when teams can get on a roll like that, they can be very difficult to stop. They've definitely got some hitting power in their lineup. Be very interested to see Warwick's and Radcliffe's next at-bats.
Before we can get to her, we got Hayley Benithan at the plate. A couple of fouls, this time to the 5-6 hole, and Claire Warwick just slipped as she took off. So Hayley Benithan, a single, just the second hit of the game for the Stars. That's how impressive the ACT have been today. So they can't take their foot off the gas here, the Stars, because it's not all said and done just yet.
Not at all.
They're up 1-0, but here's ACT just having a bit of a timeout, having a look at the grounds. And checking in on their captain. Actually playing assistant coach this year.
She is, yeah.
Claire Warwick.
Yep, so
it's a good story, isn't it? She plays against the men's in the local league, and as an Aussie Spirit captain and the current MVP and best batter, you might have thought that might have started a trend, but don't see it very often. Lana Kaiser puts down a bunt, a push bunt, to advance Hayley Benithan. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Benithan take off, the ball goes down, so she doesn't break stride. Lexi Cooper does well to intercept and get the throw across to McDonald for the first out. It's a bit of textbook softball right there.
Yeah, well executed skills.
So you were known as a bit of a power hitter when one of your coaches gave you the bunt signal. Did you just put your team cap on and say, well, I've got to get it down, or are you thinking, oh, come on, let me hit away?
No, absolutely.
Wow.
Chillingworth gets a nice piece of the ball, deep centre field, just out of reach of Henman at centre field. Benithan's going to turn 3 and score. An RBI double to Chillingworth. Timely, that's her first hit of the tournament.
Bunting's a very important part of the game, as we see from that run just scored there. Put that runner to scoring position, and Taylor did the rest.
I mean, Henman nearly made a play on that, which is crazy.
She's fast out there, isn't she, Tess?
Well, Coach Carroll talked about the fact that she was the player to watch as far as the breakout goes. You know, she was the
highlight reel player last
right.
year. The diving catches in the outfield, put the body on the line. She nearly snapped herself in half in one attempt where she come charging in from centre field to take it just in the edge of the grass. And
she's a very gutsy sort of player, Tess, and she made the Australian development team last year. But, she's had a really good tournament this year. So
the thing there for Chillingworth too, you just said, James, like that's her first hit of the tournament, day 4. That's a super important at bat, because you could just see that she's been struggling on that front inside edge, and every time that she's been rung up on it, there's been a bit of a reaction by her at the plate where she's been searching for it. She's been searching to make sure, because last year when she came on, after obviously being a part of the under-18s and the 23s, she came into games as a pinch hitter, and she came in and she hit triple, and that first one over here on Diamond 1 in game 1, and she had that type of role to build her confidence.
pop up to first base. Cooper has to go into foul territory, and she timed her run for that ball perfectly as Robinson had to cross her path before she got to the ball.
So now that Chillingworth's got a shot like that the day before the dance, that's important, because she can now feel
Take
like
some confidence, yeah. When she's called upon. Here's Harris with 2 out, runner on 2.
Good cut. So you just asked Sally before, do you get nervous when she's watching her daughters? You nervous when you're watching your wife, mate? Is that another thing?
I don't pump her up as much as she deserves, but I do a little bit. But I know someone else who won't be watching at home, and she's looking after May for us. Granny Cat out to the right side, opposite field, hitting it. Just goes foul, so she'll go behind the count 0-2.
Yeah, well, she's been dominant in the Premier League her first season back after the arrival of young Maeve. So playing a variety of roles in the Eagles, who had been lights out for the first half of the season, only dropping their first game just on the eve of Christmas. So, and it took a University of Hawaii import to do that.
Ground ball to the right side in a replay of her first at bat. So protecting that outside edge well, but not able to find the gap on this occasion. The Stars do manage to score their second run in that inning. Eastern replay, McDonald stays down on the ball very well, and casually over to Cooper for the third out.
The 23s, Sally, is that something that you and Richard are looking at going through again next season?
It's a year-by-year sort of thing with us, and Richard, it just, if the mood takes him basically, and just, I don't know. We're always working with our girls. So we've got.
But how long have they got left in that? Because one of them.
Yeah, so Caitlin's only 18, so she'll be another 4 years. 5 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
And Sam's only 20, so a couple more years there. Yep. So potentially, yes, it's a big commitment, and getting on in years and stuff. So, but as I said, we always work with our girls at home, and we've got a batting cage in the backyard. So
yeah, Kylie keeps talking about that at home. She wants me to organised that, which I said, yeah, I'm sure the neighbours would love to hear the sound of ting, ting, ting.
It is a bit noisy, but
yeah.
anyway, our neighbours seem to be pretty tolerant.
Yeah, I think we would have to get like some, I don't know, some chickens or some goats or something else just to sort of offset it.
Back to the top for ACT, Lexi Cooper. Stars have been through their lineup twice. This is the start of the second time for the ACT. They do have the second opportunity to bat, so they're the home team. They bat last. Long piece of the ball. Sarah Tonkin goes to her left, just goes to her right, takes a catch for the first out.
Yeah. Here on the Eastern replay, good outfielding there by the Sturt catcher back here in the local league. But the thing that's important there for those young outfielders at home is she gets the ball hit out to her high, and that first movement isn't in. Naturally, as a young outfielder, you want to move in as soon as you see the ball hit towards you. But you see those more experienced outfielders, they hold their nerve, they see how the ball's going to break, and that's what allows them to read the play much better. So,
especially in this wind, Anthony, it's pretty challenging out there this week.
yeah, it's like, I mean, Diamond 2s are completely, it's like you're playing in another state down there. It's like,
it's the first ground ball of the game for the ACT. A put out for Georgia Hood at first base for out number 2.
I think this is the at-bat that, for me, from a coaching perspective, would be telling. This is where I feel I'm going to get a read on how much further Peterson's able to go.
And on the flip side, ACT need a spark in their batting lineup.
Yep, sure do.
Chelsea Robinson doing some batting there at shortstop.
Just going through her swing?
Just going through her swing, just doing her foot movements and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be a bit warmer tomorrow too, so that'll be interesting, because it's been cool, obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday was reasonably warm, so Friday seems like it's going to bookend Monday. As you would imagine, pitching very carefully around Warwick, and this is what I was looking at in the sense of...
Got 2 out, you can afford to be pretty careful,
yeah,
so don't blame her.
But McDonald and Radcliffe to come, sort of... Yeah.
2 out base on balls for Claire Warwick.
So McDonald's been good on the turn, but we've also seen it go the other side as well, so... Very strong up the middle, fast hands.
Rebecca McDonald for the Diamonds just looks back at the umpire with a bit of a smile. Oh-1, Warwick on first. Interesting lead-off stance that she has. She faces both feet towards the batter.
Yeah, good pickup.
Rather than side on, timing her run with the pitcher. Pop up, there is 2 out, so she'll keep going. Here comes Taylor Chillingworth to take the catch, and that'll end the 4th inning. So we're past the halfway mark in this clash between the SA Stars and the ACT Diamonds. 2-0 Eastern replay. Chillingworth makes up some good ground for the 3rd out, and this is our last time hosting the Gilley Shield for I don't know for how long. Next year, if it goes to the plan and the scheduled announced tournament plan for next year, it'll be in the ACT.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Hawker, right.
Yeah, so we'll host the 23s and we'll do a switch with the ACT. We'll get the Open Men's and they'll get the Gilley Shield. But that was the original 2021 plan that was cancelled due to COVID, and the CEO at the time, David Pryles, announced that 2021 event will be switched to 2024, so everyone in their hosting agreement still gets to host their event. So unless there's a change, we're not sure what's happening after that, but
well, considering that it was 2005 when it was the last time here, I'm assuming that we should make preparations for, what, 2039? Is that when we would expect it next, or am I out of turn in that regard? Or
if I get a phone call from that, I'll give him your number.
No, I was just asking the question.
We did host one round of the Eddowbone Weber Shield.
Seven states. 7 into 17 goes.
There's
Redcliffe.
There's 8 states, but anyway, 6 are playing at this tournament. But I know what you're trying to say, okay? And just protecting my employment at the moment.
I've just turned my phone off. Save that phone call coming through.
Back to the top for Sarah Tonkin.
Yeah, SA unable to sort of string back-to-back consecutively against Redcliffe here, so they're happy to do it sort of one hit, engineer, or a walk and an engineer. So we're just starting to see some activity in the ACT ball pen now. So it is that type of game where in the middle, multiple times through the lineups, going to make some considerations about how you're going to close it out. Oh, wow.
Great play from Cooper. Backhand play to deny Tonkin.
There is no happier player in the tournament when they get an out. You see her face just light up, and she just celebrates it like it's...
She's happy all the time, but when she gets an out, yeah, you'll notice.
And I think that's the infectious energy that sort of just is... You just love to have those players around, so...
Over on Diamond 2, thanks to Spacequake Sports, it's 2-0 in favour of New South Wales in the top of the 4th. Just the 3 hits in the game, 1 to Victoria and 2 to New South Wales. Sally, Spacequake Sports have recently made the move into state. They've actually done the last John Reid Shield final.
Yeah, I saw that actually, and it's really good news. They don't do such a good job. The live streaming from here has just been fantastic. And so much good feedback about it.
Hopefully David and his team can get another Gilley Shield next year in the ACT and
I'd go as far as saying
game.
I'd love to see just regular club ball around the states. I'd love.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
Watching the Waverley series, Open Ones was great because obviously, we commentate and watch our teams here, but being able to sort of dial in and see some of these superstars from the states playing in their their local environments would be pretty cool.
Top of the 5th, there's 1 out. Pippa Atkins up to bat. Jamie Radcliffe has pitched a beauty to this point, just giving up 3 hits, 2 runs have scored, 2 base on balls.
Any chance of an Eastern replay in that last pitch? And after this one, if you like.
Full count for Adkins. Outside for a base on balls.
Not that one, yeah, the one before.
Thanks to producer Brandon, just frame.
Yeah, no, it's a good effort. Good effort by Robin to drag it back in, but she has missed that front corner.
Uruguawa to the plate, has a walk and a ground out.
First pitch, swinging if it's close.
Protects the runner. Atkins takes off. It's a terrific throw.
That's
Cooper Atkins is thrown out.
That's the same as thing that she did yesterday to Whitefield. Her and Warwick have just an awesome chemistry. That's a great throw. I mean, Claire couldn't ask for it to be really any better. I mean, look how far Claire's got to move the glove. Like, she's moving at half a foot. I mean, if you're moving half a foot, then What a change-up. That's a great pitch to come back on because she's just swung through, protecting the runner. She's gone first pitch in her at-bat, and so Robin calls change on the first pitch that she's looking at, and now she's got her behind in the count, 0-2.
And nearly gets that outside edge, so we are in the top of the 5th. It is a 2-run ball game, so it is pretty tight, and it will take 1 inning to get that back. So ACT looking to grab some momentum. Brower, half a swing at this one, reaching, pulls it to the left side, and a catch taken by McCready at left field to have a 1-2-3 inning.
See a little bit of masterclass there from both left fielders in both teams. You see here on the Eastern replay as Katie, she gets the ball here. You just notice it. She just turns her shoulder in and just preparing if there were runners on. And it's just that instinctive preparation that when the ball's landing that she's already ready to throw. So many just catch it standing face up. So Tonkin reading the play well before. McCready getting ready to make the next play. Some quality outfielding.
Well, Jade Peterson will continue into the 5th. We're halfway through the order. Jamie Radcliffe will come up to bat. Georgia Hood was warming up in the bullpen before, but I guess if she's ready to go, that's the change that's going to be made.
Just want Radcliffe here just to be a touch selfish in regards to the zone that she takes and force Peterson to come to her, because if she does, that's when Radcliffe can do some serious damage. Just doesn't want to get caught up in the chase game.
First pitch swinging, Haley Benathan. Watch your step there, Haley. We're a metre away from you. Fouls it off. Haley Benathan, one of a number of the players in the SA lineup currently signed to a college. Radcliffe fouls another off. How many are you aware of in the ACT? There's a couple, isn't there?
Look, I'm not really sure about that.
Okay,
James.
yeah. Well, we do follow Jade Jensen's page, the softball shout-out that follows the careers of the Australians over in the college system. There's over 30 and...
Disappointed when she didn't make the first 16.
Ground ball to short for Robinson and the first out, 6-3.
So that's just the thing with Radcliffe. She's such a tall, powerful athlete. It's just a big strike zone that she's got to protect. So it sort of plays against her a little bit in the sense that she's got more to protect in that regard. And Peterson and Benathan have just used that to their advantage. She got 3 pitches in 3 different locations. Just couldn't settle.
Tess Henman gets a change up first pitch because she smashed one to the left side in her one and only plate appearance of the game so far. She made it to 3, was waved around, and it took a perfect relay to run her down at the plate.
That's that pitch from Peterson there. It looks exactly the same as the pitch before, but the actual pace is different. And it's a hard read. You can see that Hemmond's just adjusted. She's just gone forward in the box a little bit more to try and cut down a little bit of that ball rotation, but Peterson then throws a similar pitch, but that one a bit quicker and just catches her out at the end.
3rd strikeout of the game for Peterson. Sully, you played in an era of Roach and Harding and Wilkins and Holiday,
yeah,
and Holmes. You've got to...
She'd love to hear that.
Who was the toughest opponent?
Look,
Kylie's not watching, she's working, so don't worry, you don't have to.
On their day, those girls are all amazing, to be honest. You know, in their own different ways. Mel, nobody had more spin or movement on the ball than Mel Roach. Tanya Harding, absolute champion. Just, you know, gutsy, you know, competitor. So just really always challenging. Brooke Wilkins on her day, super fast, can throw a beautiful drop.
I remember Jenny Holiday in the fast pitch league, and we hadn't seen somebody that, I think, that tall for a little while. And when I don't know if it was the Melbourne Majestics when they came here and they were playing the Raiders, and I remember standing in the club rooms.
Into foul territory, Haley Benithan tracks it and does take a catch to end the inning.
Sorry, I was trying to catch that. That's why I paused. And I remember I was standing in the club rooms around here, and she was the starting pitcher. I think it was the Majestics, or I can't remember what their other franchise name was. And I remember the first pitch being thrown, and it sounded like something had broken out on the diamond. She hit the glove that loud that I'm in I was in the club rooms and I heard it, and I sort of had to come back out thinking that something had happened, and it was like, she was awesome.
The thing with Jen was she coupled that speed with an amazing change-up, so it was very, very challenging for, as you say, power hitters, and you suddenly get that change-up, makes you look a bit silly.
Yeah. I was saying, Kyle and I, when we were talking about tonight, because we're doing the New South Wales, Queensland, and we just said, you know, we used to come down and when the fast pitch league on, when the Nationals were here, we remember, because SA, we used to get, you know, taken out fairly early, and we just remember sitting out on the hill on Diamond 1 watching New South Wales, Queensland, and it was just, you know, slugfests, and it was just so good because you just roll down to the ballpark and you just seen the best, and that's what we're trying to tell people. Those that are watching at home, if you're a Star supporter, or even if you're not a Star supporter, if you're involved in any of the affiliates are around the state, if you get an opportunity to come down tomorrow, and you're going to get to see some of the best softballers in the country playing at a peak level. I mean, honestly, watching Parnaby and playing, watching Titsakronis bat, it's literally worth the drive. I mean, so if you get an opportunity, I know it's school holidays, some of you are still on, going to have a barbecue running. So
probably going to be raining in New South Wales. So
that's right, don't worry about the cricket. Don't worry about the cricket. So get down here and see it live.
Here's Georgia Hood to lead off the 6th inning for South Australia. First pitch swinging, and Ritter fires it across for the first out. So this is where SA had a little trouble yesterday against WA, just getting going, but once they were rolling, say against New South Wales or Victoria, they were able to put them to the sword, and they really applied that offensive pressure. So Hood grounding out.
Well, the Diamonds are going to come back through their top one more time, but you know, there's a couple of young guns down the bottom there that can, you know, it just takes one or two of them to get on, and then sort of make sure that some of these more experienced hitters, you know, Cooper, Pardo, Warwick, have an opportunity with some base runners, and then you can create some genuine scoreboard pressure. And Western Australia showed that yesterday, as you were talking about. Scoreboard pressure just makes it, you know, you're then playing to the scoreboard rather than just trying to create for the sake of creating. You've got a goal.
Here's Haley Benithan up to bat. She hit a single in the 4th and scored on Taylor Chillingworth's RBI.
That's a great pitch.
Also has a strikeout. It's a tough tournament to win the Gilley Shield. ACT won 3 titles in their history. They were back-to-back, 78, 79 and 80. You may have been a little...
I started in the team in 81, I
Oh,
think.
wow. Line drive down to left field. But how good's the field as Cavacarides got across, and she's knocked that ball down because it was hit like a tracer bullet past Ritter. And then you can see McGreedy's gone to ground to actually stop it and make sure that it didn't get past her, because if it had, what turned out, she's made that, she's turned a double or a triple into a single by just some great fielding out there at left field.
Lana Kaiser now to the plate. Haley Benithan on first. So you started in 81.
Yeah, it might have been 82. It was right after our winning streak. So good timing, but never mind. I was pretty young at the time. So.
This goes to show some of the greats of the game never achieve the ultimate goal, right? A national championship. obviously you went on and was an Olympian and Olympic medalist. And
Richard
five world championships.
We did live in Queensland for 4 years, and Richard was a coach up there, and he got a job coaching up there. So I actually won a Gilley Shield for Queensland, but it was in Canberra, which was
How did I not know that?
Which was a really, really hard thing to do.
That's not in the notes.
No.
Wow.
Kaiser comes up with the goods. Now, we were looking for that spark from either of the teams. Benithan gets the single, and it's backed up from a double from Kaiser.
Yeah, good bat by Lana. We know she's a great hitting behind the runner hitter, but she's also got that just the ability to turn, and she didn't overextend in the swing. We were just talking before about pitching changes. We saw that there was some movement up in the bullpen the innings before, and Radcliffe, unfortunately for Coach Carroll's probably gone 2 batters too long.
Looks like a double change as well, because Lexi Cooper's come off at first.
So she'll go behind the plate.
Yeah. Really good effort from Jamie Radcliffe to hold the SA batters that long. She did a great job.
Well, let's get some official numbers rather than just relying on my scorecard. Up until the second batter of this innings, which was Hayley Benithan, she'd held the SA team to just 2 runs and 3 hits. There are a couple of walks in there as well, but now it'll end up being 5 hits. 5 and a third innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts on 90 pitches. So
yeah. So did you say? Sorry, that
done
was
well.
3 hits for 2 strikeouts.
3 hits, 3 walks, 5 hits, 3 runs.
So in the end, yes, right.
3 walks and 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure if you told Coach Carroll at the start of the game, listen, Radcliffe's going to get you to the 6 and she's only going to give her up 3 hits to the Stars on their home turf, he probably would have said, yeah, look, all right, I'll take that. But again, this is the question mark, and it'll be interesting to see how Coach Benedictson holds his nerve the other side, because Peterson still seems to, be travelling along pretty well, but she's about to come through the top of the ACT lineup for the 3rd time. And here's some evidence, when the offence, there's a reason why lots of runs get scored late, because when the offence get multiple looks at a pitcher, pitchers start to fatigue.
All right, it'll be Thorburn coming in to pitch to replace Radcliffe. She's thrown 12 innings of work for an ERA of about 7. So hopefully for the ACT it's something different, because 7 isn't flattering, but that doesn't mean that she hasn't been a good pitcher. But Stars have also made a change as well, taking out Lana Kaysler to bring in the pinch runner of Amber Hood, maybe just not taking any chances on that sore leg that she has.
Yeah, absolutely. Thorburns played this role a couple of times already for the Diamonds, where she has come in. So some of the situations, obviously you talk about her ERA being at that, she's come into some fairly nasty situations late into games, and she sort of inherited base runners and sort of hitting streaks, and she's been tried to be the foil, and she's done a good job breaking that up. I mean, Kylie spoke on Tuesday about, she's very much a stand and deliver pitcher. She's not jumping off the mound, but she's got a very strong sort of hand and wrist, gets a lot of good ball spin.
All right, ringing the changes is the ACT. Lexi Cooper's gone from first to catcher. Radcliffe's gone from pitcher to first. Thorburn's coming in to pitch, and it's to Taylor Chillingworth.
So Robbins come out.
Samantha Robbins. So does that Thorburn will go in the hitting lineup?
She'll have to.
Yeah, she will.
Good pitch. That's what Kylie was talking about just there, good ball release there, and some good late break there on the change of pace. Sort of Chillingworth was committed no matter what.
Two and 1 count now for Chillingworth. Thorburn trying to get that outside edge early in the count. Runner on twos, Amber Hood. Thorburn has a unique style, doesn't she? Really steps across with her left leg to land on the flat ground, because the pitchers do a hell of a job tearing up that pitching, what would you call it, pitching stripe, pitching plate area. The landing foot. Taylor Chillingworth with a base on balls.
Yeah. Well, as we were saying, like, without that sort of, that big jump or, you know, the motion, it's all really coming from the arm. So, you know, she's having to work that really hard.
Chelsea Robinson, third plate appearance for the game. Pinch hitter potentially in the on-deck circle is Sophie Roberts. Just the one out, so barring a double play, she'll come to the plate. Good hands from Robbo.
So coming up after this, we've got the New South Wales Fire Stars up against the WA Flames, and South Australia back it up against Queensland straight after this at 12:30. I'm a chance. No, thank God I'm not. And then later in the day, WA go against Queensland at 3. Victoria, after a break at 10, they get the ACT at 5:30. The ACT get a nasty little double header there to finish their tournament with WA at 8 p.m.
Great shot up the middle from Robinson. Just keeps this ball rolling here in the sixth. A single to Benythan, a double to Kayser, a walk to Chillingworth, and now 4 consecutive batters safely aboard.
Yeah, it's a tough gig coming in as a pitching reliever late in the game when the hitters have had an hour and a half of batting before you get there, and normally you're coming in on some momentum. But you can see here on the Eastern replay, up in the zone, hands out in front. She's just gone with it, and nice single up the centre. Sophie Roberts coming in, one of the power hitters at the Walkerville Cats, member of the under-23s, and obviously part of the national championship winning team from 2022. So speaking of people that can hit a long ball,
which is this one for a called strike. I think Thorburn may have missed a spot there because she practiced that pitch again after she let it go.
Seen a real evolution in Sophie's batting over the last 12 months. As a power hitter, she really wasn't getting any walks into her game, so she was fairly aggressive, and we've noticed this season that her pitch selection, she's been able to sit deeper into counts, and it's given her more to work with.
It's a good piece of this. Just spills out of the glove.
Great recovery,
Hood's
though.
gonna score. Chillingworth took off on the hit. Scores from second. Sophie Roberts hits a hard one out to left field. It was travelling hard and fast. It had a little bit of topspin by the look as well. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay just to make it tough for the left fielder.
Well, she's actually taken that catch basically behind her. Her left hand's actually behind, like she's watched it was hit that hard as a line drive. So she did a great job recovering it quickly and limiting the damage of any extra base runners. But again, that's that evolution that we've talked about with Sophie. She's just been able to be deeper into a count and still come up with the goods. So good job. Back to the top of the line now.
Harris re-entered back into the game. Official is an error to the left field. But 2 runs score for the Stars, and they'll go out to a 5-run lead. Sarah Tonkin for her 4th plate appearance. Top of the 6th. Runners on 1st and 2nd. And hands on the outside. Alex Maiden has come into the game.
That's a great throw by Maiden.
Terrific throw.
How impressive is that young kid out at right field just quietly?
Yeah, it's not bad for a 16-year-old.
Oh, I know, it's just 18s, 23 opens, but I mean, she has nailed that throw. And the great thing there that you might not have seen on camera is that the Australian skipper, who's also, you know, an ACT legend, has gone all the way out to right field to acknowledge what the young kid just did, and that's just massive. That's why Claire Warwick is who she is.
Adkins goes first pitch. The throw takes Radcliffe off the base from Ritter. She did well to field it, but yeah, she's a little disappointed in herself on that one because another run is scored for the Stars. Good base running from Robinson. Harris moves across to 2nd, so Pippa reckons here's the Eastern replay. Just taking her off the left side of the base. She did well to take the ball first, as you taught earlier in your career.
Yeah, just a couple of little 1%ers there. The tag on the play prior, just the throw. Got to try and stay focused here.
Jo Grauer back for her 4th turn. She's the 9th hitter of the inning. A big inning for South Australia. 4 runs have scored. 4 runs have scored. It's 6-0.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about with Thornburn when she's had to come into these games. It's she's inheriting some difficult things. Just Diamonds just need to find a way to be able to generate just some offense to provide their pitching staff and their defense something to throw out, just something to protect. Oh, good, well knocked down.
McDonald blocks it with her body.
Sure, right.
And then bare hands a flick back to the pitcher as all runners advance. Eastern replay. She went with the backhand, turned her body, it hit her in the back, I think. So they'll check up on her as she's limping a little. Oh no, that's the pitcher. I'm looking at the wrong person.
It's an important play though. By knocking it down, she saved it going out to right field. And even though Maiden was coming around, Harris has got genuine wheels, so she would have scored. So gutsy play by McConnell. She saved a run there.
Georgia Hood, loaded bases, 2 out, top of the 6. We're in run rule territory. If there is another run scored, as the bullpen catcher just needs to put his mask on if he's going to be there. Miliverta is just rolling the arm. ACT have 3 games today, so no doubt preparing either to come in relief here or for the next game. Hood gets a nice piece of the ball. Handman tracks it and takes a catch. And so the ACT get out of a 10 batter inning and giving up 4 runs. I'll let you talk us through this play here, Anthony, as I just double-check the plays, because I think there's a few errors involved in this inning.
Yeah, I mean, didn't get all of it, Georgia. Just a bit high on the barrel there, and that's allowed Henman to be inside the fence and not have to go back on that. So, I mean, but again, we've said it a couple of times. It's just been the way things have fallen for the Diamonds, unfortunately, so far this week. You know, you can't knock the effort, and they've just had some difficult plays at them. But I mean, I think Claire Warwick did it best there, just highlighting the positives. You know, goes over to the young 16-year-old at right field and acknowledges not only a great pickup in the field, but just, you know, the throw's spot on. She's done everything she can to do that. They just need to be able to generate some offense, or at least create some base running pressure to put the opposition.
Well, 4 errors in that inning for the ACT. Wouldn't have stopped South Australia from scoring at least their first run, because it was shots from Hayley Benithan and a double from Lana Kaiser, but then only one more hit after that from Chelsea Robinson. So yeah, ACT maybe just needing to a complete game.
Well, the tough part,
7 innings, you know, of competitive softball might be the difference from their tournament being 0-7 and you know, potentially 0-8 after this game. Well, and maybe a couple of wins.
That's absolutely, and the luxury that's then provided Coach Benedictson is he can now go into the bottom of the 6th. And we talked about Peterson, you know, maybe not being exposed for the 3rd time round, but now that she's got a run buffer to work with, he doesn't have to overuse his bullpen. And you know, the ACT have already had to use
pop-up that splits 4 fielders. Hayley Benithan reaches out at the last second. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. And Mel Thorburn is safely aboard. Bit of luck for the ACT.
Well, they're overdue, so they'll take it. But it's this particular part of the game. This is the sequencing of being able to generate the pressure. So you'd suggest at 6-0 down, there's no point having McCready play anything short. Just let her have an opportunity to go through the count and find a good pitch and just try and create some back-to-back hitting and put the SA Stars under some genuine field pressure and force them, like they're doing to the ACT, to come up with some great plays.
Katie McCready due up. I don't recognise this batter.
This is Sam McCready. Come in for a sister.
Sam McCready coming in. Like how I set that one up.
Yeah,
mate.
you did. No, you did very well.
There's a swing, it goes behind the count.
Awkward when that happens, when one McCready replaces the other. They don't no sort of.
Nah, they're all
all good.
It. Yeah.
Three pitches for Jade Peterson.
That's the difficulty of it. Once Jade gets ahead of the count, she can just then start to push the ball away.
She's had a great game, and she's got full of confidence now with her team backing her up. So
yeah, it's amazing what run scored for a pitcher's confidence it does. It's just
back to the top for Lexi Cooper, who's had 2 good pieces of the ball: a fly ball to left field, a fly ball to centre field.
You can see Peterson's on the quick pitch here. She's not slowing it down. She's using the momentum that she's got in the game, and she's keeping it busy. Great change of pace.
Charging is Robinson, but Lana Kaiser cuts her off, throws it across, underhands it across to the second base player Harris for the lead runner. Eastern replay.
Just see here on the replay as Chelsea's walking back, just saying, hey, listen, I thought your leg was sore, champ. You know, I'm there, I've got it. And Lana's like, once I get started, I'm not stopping. So
it's a great play from third base. If you can get the ball, you should get the ball. Easier for her to make the out at 2. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And chose to underhand it as well, with a momentum already going towards second base. Perhaps if she'd come up with an overhand throw, it might not have had time for the transition, but in effect, Cooper was able to then beat it out. There is a catcher speed up. 23 comes in. Bree Kimber. Alex Maiden has come in for Laura Pardo.
And there's a little bit more evidence of what that scoreboard does. You know, even in a situation like that with the pinch runner coming in, Benaithen that with runs to play with can start to be aggressive on, you know, the pickoffs. You can start to take the game on more in defence because you can start to try and throw those runners around in that regard because you've got some run support. The ACT, unfortunately, they've now had to activate their battery and you know, they've got their third pitcher having to warm up in this game, and that only works against attrition through the day, especially when you've got a triple header. So
5 strikeouts now for Peterson in the game, 2 in that inning. Just allowing the 1 base runner over the last 2 innings. She's had 1 hit, 1 walk, and that dropped fly ball.
Well, the luxury Coach Benedictson's got now is he's got 1 game to go, and Peterson's looks like she's going to go the distance, which means he's now got Trzynski, Grauer and Hood all with no Ks in the tank for today. So the reality is he's got any options that he wants.
For Queensland or for...
No, for his next game.
Yep.
That's the flexibility that he's got, whereas...
For Queensland.
Yeah, sorry, for Queensland, my apologies. Yes.
You're calling that game with Mel McGee?
I am, yes. Yep. I'll be making sure I have a coffee beforehand and get my tablets right so I don't have a meltdown like last night. My apologies to anybody that was watching. I think 5 days in a row, 4 hours sleep got the better of me, and I thank you for bailing me out, James. I appreciate that. Sorry for...
You got 4 hours of sleep. Wow, you're lucky. We're very grateful for the efforts that you do at Bar 66 and the Red Star Cafe, as well as giving up your time to help commentate every game of the 75th Gilley Shield, thanks to Softball SA and Spacequake Sports. Here's Hayley Benaithen to lead off the 7th inning. 10 batters in the 6th. And Hayley Benaithen was the one that got it started. A single out to left field, her 2nd hit of the game. A strikeout victim in the 1st inning. She's come back strong.
Chantal Ledner did that yesterday in the game against Victoria. She struck out, then struck out looking, and then Titacronis put one over, and Ledner came up, and after Kane twice, then put the next ball over as well. Just proves it only takes 1 pitch.
Jammed a little, and it will just get over the glove of Claire Warwick. And Hayley Benaithen aboard for the 3rd time in the game. Lana Kaiser is the batter due up, but Sean Carroll is on his way out. Maybe another pitching change.
And this is the difficulty, you know, when you've got a triple header, you don't necessarily want to have to use 3 pitches in it. If you do, you're sort of trying to think about managing them on short innings so that you can sort of keep a little bit of it going throughout the day. But after a great start by Redcliffe.
Well, Thorburn threw to 8 batters. And in those 8 batters, there was 5 errors.
Yeah. Producer Brandon, we've got to make sure we try and get, can we get the cutest Batgirls at the National Championships at some stage throughout the day? Because if there's an award for cutest Batgirls, they're it.
Just make a shout out to our little bat boy from Queensland, who's Mel Thorburn's little son.
I was driving in this morning,
and last year, and he's doing it this year, and he's.
I saw him. I saw the little kid in the outfit, and I thought, is there baseball on today as well down here? Yeah. And then I saw the uniform, and I thought, oh, right, yeah, supporting Dad that way. That's good. I like it.
Mum and Dad.
Mum and Dad.
Brooke Malaverda is the pitcher going through her warm-ups. 3rd pitcher of the game for ACT. Lauren Parker has not been used, which suggests to me that she might throw the next game for the ACT.
Yeah.
There's a shot of the dugout. of the Stars team.
Yeah, we want to get them when they're running out there. Well, if it's okay with you, James, I might let you and Sally bring this home and just make sure that my kid hasn't burnt down the bar and the canteen while I've been here, and make sure that we've got our food ready for the lunch rush.
Sally McCready joining us here at the commentary box, and we're
Great
so
to
grateful.
see you, Sally.
Yeah.
So grateful for that time.
Yeah,
so
really
why
appreciate
don't you
that.
take the opportunity to have a quick spell and check up on the crew out at.
Get team list ready for the next one, and just make sure the food's ready for anybody. But yeah,
Fresh Rolls, Red Star Cafe. Lana Kaiser takes the first one, so positive start from Melaverta. Am I pronouncing that right?
That's right. Spot on.
Hayley Benithan reached on an error, a rare error from Claire Warwick, as this one goes to the back net, and Benithan will advance to second. He's left some Tim Tams here if you want one.
They look like they're a bit melted.
Yeah, they're starting to melt. More games to come. The 12:30 time slot's a double header. As Kaiser gets her second hit of the game, scoring Hayley Benithan from 2. She really steps it up when she wears the Stars uniform. Lana Kaiser, sacrifice bunt, RBI double, and an RBI single. Maiden does well to field it eventually in foul territory and keep Kaiser down to a single. A pinch runner, Neve Adams, comes into the game. Now that will do it for Kaiser, because Amber Hood came in as a pinch runner for a last inning, the re-entry, and now will be out of the game. Neve Adams will replace her as a runner and obviously at third base in the next defensive inning. We're on Diamond 2, New South Wales out to a 5-0 lead over Victoria Titans. Taylor Chillingworth, for her 4th plate appearance, has got on base each time. An error at third, RBI double, and then a base on balls. Mentioning the draw for today, 12:30 game, SA versus Queensland, New South Wales versus WA. Coming up next, thanks to Spacequake Sports and Softball SA, Chillingworth backs away from this one. Jammed a little, fouling it off. Sully, we'll wrap things up pretty soon after the game finishes, as we've got those 2 games to get to straight away. So I'll take this opportunity to thank you for joining us. Stick around. I'm sure there's still plenty more action here in this game as we're in the 7th, and this one gets away from the ACT defence. Best of luck to both you girls and the ACT Diamonds for the rest of today, and hopefully we see you back here next December as we host our 3rd and final under 23 women's. And we'll go down swinging this time around, Taylor Chillingworth for the first out. Yeah, we always pride ourselves here at Spacequake Sports only having the best guests. At the 23s, we had Lang Harrow, we've had Tani Steptoe in the past, Janice Blackman has been a guest commentator for us, and absolute privilege to have a dual Olympian, 2 times Olympic medalist, 5 world championships, and you know, I don't want to embarrass you at all, but a World Baseball Softball Confederation Hall of Famer sitting alongside us here on the mic, and it's a pleasure to have you, so thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Chelsea Robinson, fouls the first one off. She had a single up the middle last time. Melaverta trying to keep the ball down here, trying to get a ground ball. Neve Adams still on first base. No, keep cut. No, I just wanted to thank you while we had the chance,
okay.
and yeah, you stay on. I need a helping hand with the play or the colour and the special comments. So please jump in. I learnt something today that you're also a national champion for Queensland. What year was that?
Oh, 2002.
Pop up in a tricky area, and Henman does real well to get to that one. Neve Adams has to dive back. Lexi Cooper backs it up. She's just holding her hand, Neve Adams. A little bit of blood. So, well, this is interesting because Kayser had to come out, so she can't re-enter.
Oh. Quite a lot of blood, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of blood dripping down there for Neve Adams, so we hope that she's okay. Blood rule replacement.
Chillingworth's coming out.
Can Chillingworth replace her? She dives back and just quickly clutches her hand, so we hope that she's going to be okay. That's going to make it interesting for a substitution at third, but I do know for a blood rule you've got 15 minutes to replace a player, so you could probably go to any of the players in the dugout. Taylor Chillingworth probably doesn't need to come out. Abby Jorgensen, Steph Trzynski and Belle White are all in the dugout. I would suggest out of the three it'd be Abby Jorgensen at this stage of the game.
Belle's getting ready.
Can't keep her out of the game, can you?
She's right there, ready, keen to go.
Well, let's give credit where it's due to Tess Henman. Do you think she was stepped on because she dove back? Can I have another look at that, producer Brandon? I'm sorry, mate.
Number 71. Number 2 is coming in.
Number 2 is coming in. That is Belinda White. Here's another look. Maybe
it's
it was the
hand,
left foot on the left hand,
yeah,
maybe.
I think so. I think there was some contact there. It's not the hand that's reaching out for the base. So.
Hopefully both players are okay. That's okay. Thanks, Brandon. Let's get back to the action because we're just about set to go. There is 2 out. The runner is now White, placing the blood rule player of Adams, and Jordan Harris will come back for her third plate appearance. Roberts was a pinch hitter for her third time previously. This one's high for a ball. Melaverta looking to get one out of the zone. Belle White playing in the sand over at first base, maybe covering up the blood. I would suggest not making sandcastles. It's a 1 ball count. High for ball 2 on Jordan Harris, so she gets herself into a good hitters count. Sarah Tonkin awaits on deck. Pace has come out of the game a little bit, hasn't it, as the Stars have gone out to a 7-run lead here in the 7th. Down and away for a 3-0 count. Harris relatively limited opportunities in this tournament, has a couple of hits and a couple of walks, so using the most of her opportunities in this tournament, and she's on a 3-0 count now. Green light to go here, up 7-0. Nothing really to lose. And if it's in the groove, you're going to go for it. Were you a big 3-0 hitter?
I was any kind of strike hitter.
Right, okay.
I always like to go for first strikes and be aggressive. So
yeah, I'm more of a first ball hitter as well.
Go for a 3-0 count if it's there. Why not?
That one is a good spot for Melaverta on the outside edge. So it's counts now forward 2 out, which will see the runner on the go. 2 outs, runner on, 7-0 ball game. Harris fouls this one to stay alive in the count. You don't mess with the strike zone with 2 strikes, and so she kills that one off. Maybe a little high earlier in the count. She might not have gone for that. Again, runners will go. Payoff pitch. Just grooves that one, Melaverta, and Harris just frozen there for the 3rd out. So it is just the one scored, and it is 7-0 in favour of the Stars. The coaches just come together. Who's going to replace the blood rule player of Neve Adams? Just 3 outs required for the Stars. That is the one and only question. Peterson can go out and go through her warm-up pitches as the rest of the infield is ready to go. Just a slight delay. Tonkin's going to go to 3rd. Plays a little bit of 3rd base for her club team, the Falcons. And Abby Jorgensen, glove in hand, will go out to left field. So it at the moment it's a blood rule replacement, so might not be a substitution, but with the 15, is it 15 or 20 minutes that you get for blood rule?
I'm not sure about that rule.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, it's not a substitution. No, substitution announced by the plate umpire.
I think they already used the blood rule sub with White, so now they have to make a sub, perhaps.
Okay, right, that clears it up.
13 is now the substitute, yeah.
Positional change from 5 to 7 to 7 to 5.
Right, SA look set to go. Abby Jorgensen just final running repairs on her visor. McDonald is going to be the leader. Her top says Maris. What's the Maris on the back of the shirt?
It's actually Kalani Selu who's come up to bat. She's going in for Claire Warwick, I think.
Right, okay. Blocked by my view by the umpire
yeah,
here.
the shirts with ACT were just scrambling around at the last minute to get shirts. So some of them have no names and some of them have, a couple of them have the wrong names. So that's the story behind that.
So Kalani Selu to the plate. McDonald's on deck. 3 outs required for South Australia. Jade Peterson in her 7th inning of work. 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for the veteran. Fouls this one off, Selu. Spoke to Ken earlier in the week. Likes to follow the kids around.
Yeah,
would have enjoyed a recent trip to New Zealand to watch his son.
Absolutely. What a great result that was.
2nd World Championship for the Aussie Steelers. And 6th strikeout for Peterson. Been impressive, hasn't she?
Yeah, very, very good game from Jade.
And you've got to say, with the equal performance across the board for the SA batters, maybe standouts Haley Benoithen and Lana Kaiser with a couple of hits each, that Jade Peterson is up there for player of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. She'd have my vote, I think. It's really tied the ACT batters down this game.
McDonald has 2 fly balls, 1 to the catcher, 1 to right field. Outside edge. Radcliffe awaits in the on-deck circle. Giving up just the 1 hit today, Peterson. It was a triple to Tess Henman. Equally as impressive was the relay play from the Stars in that game. And unfortunately, and sorry to say, Sally, that this result will end the chances of the ACT making the playoffs tomorrow. So just 2 games to go left in this tournament. Will they still go out, play to
Look,
win?
they'll give it 100%
Yep.
every game. I mean, you know, if we can come, you know, 5th instead of 6th, then that's, you know, we'd like to do that. We want to do the best we can possibly do. It's national championships, and the girls are very proud to represent ACT.
Base on balls. So just the second walk for Peterson, and you get a break.
Yeah, we don't play again till 5:30, I think.
5:30
Yeah, they've
against
got the
Victoria.
2 games out on the Chile Diamond tonight. So.
Well, I'm calling the WA ACT game, so looking forward to watching the ACT team back in action. Ground ball to Robinson to Harris,
Doubles on the cards.
and they turn a double to end the game. 7-0 for SA to end the game. And as I said, Sally, earlier, that we'll look to wrap it up pretty quickly because of our next games, which are at 12:30. SA Queensland, New South Wales versus WA. It was South Australia. Here's a look at the Eastern replay with the double play to wrap things up. SA 7, ACT 0. Thank you so much, Sally McCready, for joining us on the mic. Thanks
Absolute
to Anthony.
pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.